Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday to you. Happy Spring Forward Sunday. Hopefully, you're recovering from that lost hour of sleep overnight. We got a long range video today for you. We're going to talk about some warmer temps across much of this work and school week, and then we're going to talk some severe weather chances as we go towards the end of this week. First off, let's dive right in. Check out your future radar for this work and school week. It's going to stay pretty dry and warm across the country as we go into this second full week of March. Here we are March 11th into the 12th. This is right into the midweek time frame. Maybe some scattered rain showers Thursday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon into the first part of Thursday, rather. But then our big weather maker is this low pressure coming out of the Pacific Northwest that'll eject over the Rocky Mountains. It's going to strengthen significantly as it gets into our neck of the woods. And then by Friday afternoon, here we are 7 p.m. on Friday, may see some storms start to fire up. They'll move through Friday night, and we're clear by the first part of Saturday morning. Take note of this low pressure millibar reading. Last week, if you remember when that last big storm system moved through, you could feel it in your joints and you feel the aches and pains when the barometric pressure gets really low. That barometric pressure was in right around the 980 millibar range as it got to its deepest point, and then moved out of our neck of the woods. I think 985 was about as how low as it got. This one stands to be stronger than that. We're looking close to 970 millibars, which would be really close to a record low barometric pressure reading for our area in terms of low pressure systems. So really potent storm forecasted to move into our neck of the woods Friday afternoon and evening and into the first part of Saturday. It's also going to be really windy with the storm system. Notice all these black lines are what we call isobars. Those are lines of equal pressure. And the closer they are together, the stronger those winds get cranking. Further apart, obviously, the less they get cranking. So we're going to have some really strong winds Friday and into Saturday. That's going to be part of that storm system moving in. First off, though, we can talk some really nice springtime temperatures. It is now spring if we're thinking meteorological calendar. That started March 1st. So for your forecast highs tomorrow for your day on Monday, lower 60s across the area. Will you believe me when I say that's the coldest we're going to be this week? By Tuesday, we get close to the 70-degree mark along Route 15 points south, upper 60s as you go north of that point. Wednesday, similar picture, near 70 degrees along Route 50 and south, upper 60s just to the north. By Thursday, we all get in on the 70-degree readings with lower 70s across much of the area. Friday, with those warm southerly winds moving into our area, we're going to be in the mid to upper 70s. That warm air and instability is going to help fuel those storms as we get into Friday night. So here we go. First chance of severe weather for the year. I've got two maps to show you. The left one is the Colorado State machine learning probabilities. This first debuted really last severe weather season, and it really passed the test fairly well. So we're going to keep using that. It's been pretty reliable to show us more localized chances of severe weather several days in advance. And on the right is the National Weather Service's Storm Prediction Center outlook from the Storm Prediction Center in Oklahoma. Both great sources to get your severe weather information from. The one on the right with the Storm Prediction Center is showing much of the area in a slight risk or a 15% chance of some severe weather Friday evening. On the left, the Colorado State model has us in that slight risk, but it paints an enhanced risk a little bit closer to, off to our west, closer to that Mississippi River, where we think some storms may fire just a little bit sooner. So let's time this out for you on future radar. We will pick things up 4 p.m. Friday evening. That's what's on your screen right now. Maybe some isolated storms starting to form, but watch here. Between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., we really see some storms start firing right along the Mississippi River. That's where the Colorado State model was suggesting maybe some slightly stronger storms. As we go into 10 p.m., we'll see probably a line of storms moving in, damaging winds, some hail look to be the primary threats right now, although we can't rule out some isolated spin-ups with that, especially when I show you the wind forecast here in just a second. By 1 a.m., those storms are well off to our east, and we catch a little bit of a break for the rest of your evening Friday night. Saturday, we stick with some strong winds and maybe some showers later in the day on Friday. So when we talk about severe weather and we talk about the things needed to make severe weather happen, you need three ingredients. The first one is instability, and that usually takes the form of warm, moist, muggy atmosphere or muggy air. The second one is wind shear. That's winds, blowing at different heights and different speeds in the atmosphere. And the third one is some sort of spark, something to get everything going and get the weather moving. We've got all three looking to come together Friday afternoon and evening. Really, the best time frame right now is looking somewhere between about 6 p.m. and midnight Friday night. So this is the forecast relative humidity for Friday evening, about 10 p.m. That's when the bulk of the storms look to be right over us. And according to the GFS, we're talking really, really muggy air with relative humidity values somewhere in the upper 70s to about 80% range. That's going to be plenty of moisture and plenty of mugginess in our neck of the woods. If we talk about the other part of that, the instability, this map is convective available potential energy, or what we call CAPE. This is basically the storm juice. This combines the relative humidity with a couple other things, and it gives us a number of how much energy is in the atmosphere. And as those storms are right over us, about 10 p.m. Friday night, we're looking at values somewhere in the 1,200 to 1,500 range. That's a fair amount for early March as we start talking about storm energy potential. So the energy is definitely there in the atmosphere. Okay, that checks box number one. How about box number two? How about the winds? Winds are going to be really, really strong. As I mentioned earlier, we could see wind gusts on Friday somewhere in the 30 to 40 mile an hour range as that low pressure starts to move closer. That's how strong this low pressure really is going to be. And it's showing anywhere in the in this bulk shear map, any of the purples and as we get into the reds off to our west, that's really, really strong winds up aloft. That's going to keep the atmosphere churning enough to give us that instability and give us that wind shear. So we've checked two of the three boxes. The third box we've also checked because we saw on future radar just a minute ago that storm system moving through. That'll be associated kind of with a cold front as it sweeps across the area. So all three ingredients look to be in place for the potential of some severe weather. Again, Friday night, about 6 p.m. to about midnight. The last thing that we talk about when we talk about severe weather is this thing called the lifted index. And basically what the lifted index is the lower the number that it presents, the more buoyant the atmosphere is, or in other words, the better warm air is able to rise in the atmosphere. And the more rising of that warm air, the usually some stronger storms are evident with that. And right now, as those storms are getting fired up, Friday afternoon, we're somewhere in the -6 to -7 range across much of the area. So, and that's again fairly low, fairly unstable, you could say, of the atmosphere by the time Friday evening rolls around. So all the ingredients are in place. One thing I'll mention when we talk about all this severe weather stuff in the maps, because I know sometimes the storm anxiety can get to people. This is still 6 days out. A lot of things are going to change between now and Friday. What I can tell you is there is a chance for some storms, maybe some severe weather Friday afternoon, evening. Right now, to me at least, it looks like a fairly decent chance we'll see something in our neck of the woods. What that looks like yet, it is way too early to tell, to be honest. And we really won't have too many specifics down until we get, probably Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe. At least much better picture by Thursday for sure. So this is a motto that you'll hear me say a lot during severe weather season. We're not trying to scare you. We're not trying to, put any fear out there. We're trying to prepare you. So don't be scared. Be prepared when it comes to this severe weather season, and make sure you've got all the fun severe weather things. Make sure you have a severe weather bag. A NOAA weather radio is a great thing to have around as we move into March and April. So there's that. I'll get off my weather soapbox and show you the Climate Prediction Center maps as we wrap this video up. the 6 to 10 day temperature probability, we're going to stay really warm as we go into the mid of the month. This Friday through next Tuesday. The 8 to 14 day carries with that warmer than average projection as we move through next Sunday, March 16th through Saturday, March 22nd. Precip also looks to stay well above average on the 6 to 10 day precip outlook, as well as the 8 to 14 day, both maps showing us above average. So active weather pattern coming to us for March, as well as some warmer weather coming to us. So enjoy it. Enjoy this week. It's going to be really, really nice. Get out, get out and just soak in that vitamin D that will be well abundant. Stay tuned for updates as we go closer to Friday. I'll have more updates in terms of severe weather potentials and all the specifics with that as we get closer to the event. So have a great week.